personality and former UK Special Forces soldier, Royal Marines Commando and Royal Engineer in the British Army. He is best known as the former chief instructor on the Channel 4 television series SAS Who Dares Wins. He also appeared as the captain in the adventure reality show Mutiny and the survival show Escape. Now, if that wasn't enough, in 2018 he climbed Mount Everest for the TV show Extreme Everest with Ant Middleton. And the point to this is he proves that anything is possible. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ant Middleton.
Do not worry, I'm not here to thrash the living daylights out of you. A lot of you are probably thinking, what the hell is Ant Middleton doing here at the Reform Conference? Well, what do I know about politics? I know enough about modern day politics to realise that it's not working here in the UK. Hence, the solution is in the title, reform. Political reform is definitely needed. And it doesn't take the brains of Elon Musk to realise that. And what do I know? Now, I do know about national security. I do know about safety. I do know about personal safety. I do know about community. I do know about teamwork. I do know about coming together. I do know about identity. Identity being key here. Identity gives us purpose, it gives us drive, it gives us ambition. It gives us a one-dimensional goal to work towards. Identity being key. I do know about trust. Trusting each other to get something done. And I do know about unity. The coming together of a unit, of a team, of a country to make sure that we are secure and safe. That I do know about. I'm not here to speak about politics. I'll leave that to the politicians. Listen, what I do know is national security, and that's what we're going to touch on very first and foremost. Now, when I spoke to Nigel and the wider team a couple of years ago, for those that don't know, I do a TV show called SAS Who Dares Wins, where I bring in broken people and I strip them down so they can identify who they are, so they have an identity, and then I build them back up to go out into the world and to achieve. And I got asked a question by Nigel and his wider team saying, could you do that with a broken country? How do you do that? And we went through how I broke people down. I said, it's quite simple. Now, what I do with individuals, I bring them into a camp. I close those gates. Let's call it the border. I close the gates and I make sure that no one comes in unless they benefit the environment. Super important. If they benefit the environment, they can come in. 2, if they benefit the individuals in my camp, i.e. the countrymen and women. If they benefit them, you can come in. Also, if they adhere to the rules and regulations of my camp. And when I started to break it down, I was like, wow, actually, if we go back to the bare basics, if we strip it all back down, there's super similarities here. It's not too dissimilar. Yes, it's a lot more complicated, but it's not too dissimilar. Now, the moment those gates are closed, hopefully that individual feels safe. Super important, because safety then trickles into trust. If you feel safe around someone, you can start to trust someone. If you feel safe in a community, you can start to trust that community. If you feel safe in a country, you can start to trust that country. Look at the bigger picture, which is this country that I've fought for, that I've had the privilege of operating at the very highest level. Thank you. With multiple agencies Whether that's intelligence agencies, different special forces, I have seen a topographical view of how the country works. And the key thing is the safety behind it. So I know how it works. I know what needs to be done. And when I look at the borders, I'm almost disgusted that our Royal Navy, the best Navy in the world, no shadow of a doubt, we have the best Navy in the world, are being put on the back burner, not allowed to do their jobs. Not being allowed to do their jobs. Double standards, call it two-tier, whatever you want to call it, double standards. They're not allowed to do their job. Wow. The best Navy in the world aren't allowed to do their job, i.e. protect our waters. Of course, I haven't got a secure camp. We haven't got a secure camp because we don't know who's coming in. They're certainly not benefiting the environment, they're certainly not adhering to the rules and regulations, and they're certainly not benefiting us as a nation. Now, interpret that as you will. Let's say that's the border. I don't want to get in too much trouble and be cancelled again. Let's just say that that's the border. My little camp is the border. Now, what do I do once I've secured my camp? They feel safe. I make sure that people are safe, and I start stripping them down. Broken people come to me, I strip them down, and I make them realise what they're capable of. I make them identify their true selves, who they really are. I give them an identity. Whew. What's British identity? British culture. What's British culture? British history. So why is that being eradicated? Why is that being trampled all over? Why aren't we allowed to be the umbrella culture of this country? And it's very, very simple. If I hear someone say once more, what's British culture? Scones and tea, I'm going to throttle them. No, I'm not going to kill anyone, don't worry. But British culture is British history. British history is born, this country is born on the values of Christianity.